City Council.
Regular meeting is now called to order. Mike, will you lead us in the flag salute please?
That's what you get for being the slow guy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, will you lead us in the yes.
Blessed Father, we do thank you for allowing us to once again come before your throne with praise and thanksgiving in our hearts for all you've done for us and for your watch care over us. Be with the council tonight as they do the business of the city. And we just praise your holy name for everything that you do for us on a daily basis as individuals. We just praise your name in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Chides?
Yeah, I made it.
Councilmember Schultz? Here. Councilmember Canada? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Heckerman?
Here.
Mayor Frida?
Here.
You have your quorum.
Thank you. Oral communications, items on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on agenda items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. There being no one, oral communications, items not on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on items not on the agenda and within the legislative body's jurisdiction. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Please step forward and give us your name and address for the record.
Hello, I'm Marie Ortiz from the Hawaiian Gardens Library, and I'd like to give you some highlights of the quarterly report, and I am going to pass these to you so you have them.
I already gave them.
Yes.
And that meant for the 1997 also? Those figures too?
Yes, we have.
Okay, thank you. I am happy to report to you that that your library is doing quite well, as your statistics will show. If you can compare the 4 years ago on the items borrowed, they actually doubled from 11,000 to 22,000. Those are approximate, but that's pretty close. And the number of people who visited the library also dramatically increased in 4 years, from 10,000 to last quarter was 19,000. And that's just 3 months. If you look at the class visits and attendance, you will notice that the library has been making an impact on outreach to our local schools. And this is very gratifying to know that the library is part of the educational process. The library has 4 internet stations with printers, and this has been a very attractive resource to the community. As you can see by the number that have used the internet in the 4th quarter, in October it was 428 people used the internet, and we are only open 30 hours a week, so you can know we're impacted. And it's very rare that you see a station not being used. And in November, it was 408. And in December, it was 435. So that's quite impressive. And on another matter, I'd like to appeal to the audience for volunteers to help us at the library. So we do the training, and if you could spare an hour a week, we'd appreciate that. On another note, I am going to be forming a Friends of the Library support group, and I have quite a few people that are interested in that. And the group consists of people who care about libraries and who are interested in promoting awareness and growth in the library in our community. And one more announcement. The library will be having a program for in March featuring the Aztec Warriors dance group for the entire family. It'll be on a Saturday, so the entire family should be able to go. And I will be distributing flyers so that you know the exact time and date, and it'll be announced to the public that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, I'd like to maybe ask at this time also for Glenn, if you could come up and talk about the volunteer program.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. I just noticed that you guys stuff in the agenda, and I guess I'll just speak real briefly about it. Basically what it is to assist our city, our beautiful city of Hawaiian Gardens, in implementing or helping with implementing of the city policies and whatever else you might want as far as people not crossing, jaywalking, parking in the handicaps. It's mainly to inform residents and then make them aware and open them their eyes that you can't park in a handicap stall and go and shop and come back out an hour already later. Excuse me. Also, it informs kids about bike helmets. They have to wear their bike helmets. It's just a little extra that the County of Los Angeles and the LA County Sheriffs, along with Lakewood Sheriffs, has implemented for years. I am a third graduating class from year 2001, so there's been people in front of me that's been enforcing it for many years now. There's a program in Bellflower, Paramount, Downey. Cerritos has their own now. Now they became their own police department. So we also do many things like safety checks, vacation checks. Safety checks are for businesses to go and check their business. If a vendor or a person that owns a business calls the sheriffs and said, if you can check my building on the garden center, I own a flower shop, I want to make sure it's safe at night, can you have somebody go by and check? Well, they'll call a volunteer on patrol to go do that. And we're kind of a liaison through Lakewood Sheriffs that does that for volunteers. We also go do house vacation checks where if Betty Schultz is going to Tahiti or Hawaii, she could get a hold of the Lakewood station and let them know.
That's what I'm doing this year.
Oh, good. Well, let them know that she will be out for a certain amount of time, and she would like somebody to keep an eye on good old Rocco for her and make sure he's safe. So we also do that. We don't feed the dog. We don't give it water, but we go make sure that the house is safe.
You can do it for her.
How many volunteers do you have?
Well, I am the first. I enrolled.
Because we see
About
that
four-
running on the cable.
I enrolled about 4 months ago. I guess I got tricked in by Prigero. He had told me he had 5 people that are behind me. Yeah. So I showed up, and hey, Lord and behold, I was the only one in Hawaiian Gardens there amongst everybody from Paramount, Cerritos, Cypress. We have Bellflower and Paramount. So there was a lot of people that I met, but I was the only one from Hawaiian Gardens that showed up. However, there's people out there that I've been talking to that are interested in the program that would like to be a volunteer on patrol, and that takes about 2 to 3 months of training through the Lakewood Sheriff's Department. I spend many hours there. You got to spend at least 140 hours at the counter answering questions, also doing cones, blocking intersections. We do it all, lighting flares, checking the two-way radios, the batteries are charged. It's just a lot of different things. And then they send us to the command center, and we learn the radio, how to use the two-way radio, because it's a complex radio, and it's basically you're on you're on the communication radio to dispatch at all times,
So
especially.
you cover things in other cities too, huh?
Well,
As a whole.
the group right now, it allows us to go to Bellflower, Lakewood as needed, but each volunteer from their own city is pretty much stays within their city. But in my case, I'm unfortunate. Everybody else is got a partner except for
You're
me.
alone.
And I'm the Lone Ranger, kind of say. So I'm right now in the middle of trying to recruit for the next class, 2002, that would be held probably mid-August. So if I could get at least another 5 or another 6 to pair up, that would be great. It involves a lot of things. We also volunteer at fairs, the carnivals.
Is there an age group?
You do have to be over 18.
And how far?
You could be any.
long as you can move, right?
As long as you move, and yeah, your heart's still beating, we could use you.
You can fog a mirror.
Yeah, you can fog a mirror, you're fine. I'm gonna pass out to the city clerk so she can hand you a information packet. Also the stuff we have and what we do. We have 3 things. We also do red tags. It's not a ticket. This city did have it when the police department wasn't placed, but they got rid of it. I don't know if they still have these red tags, but all it is, it's informing the person of the vehicle that they're parked or they're not to be selling their car at a private lot or a public place, and also overnight parking where you're not allowed. So it red tags them. It kind of hits them in the face at first. Oh, I'm not going to pay that ticket. Well, we just tell you the amount of how much it's going to pay, the ordinance or the city-state code or the vehicle code, and they could come and say, hey, why did I get red tag? Well, if it says down there, it's just a notice, okay? It's not an actual ticket. It's a notice to let them know, look, we're trying to enforce the laws. That way people would think twice before parking at a handicap stall or will park illegally in the street or any other things that you would like to enforce, and you do that through the county and LA sheriffs. And you could tell, I guess, Deputy Jody Wells or Marv Kavanaugh, or Marv Wool that's there. It's got another guy over there that he could do, what we can do for you. But there's a couple of forms in here you could use for graffiti removal, business checks, home checks. So I'll pass that down onto and then also a listing of all the people in other areas shows you what they're doing. And also we also have our own little news kind of thing from Sheriff Baca that gives us a little information about the patrol that we're doing. And they come out, this is volume 2, so we just started this, and it's paid by the volunteers. And what we do is we just all pitch in $10 here and there, and that's how it gets passed out. Plus, businesses help us with this. It gives information to residents at their city what volunteers are doing and how they work and all that.
Yeah, well, I know we've talked about it for a few years now, getting some volunteers, and I wondered, because I see the readout on the computer all the time.
Yeah, I think the thing is that...
You're it, huh?
I think it involves a lot of... they do require you to do a certain amount of hours in a week in order to keep your certification up. And you will get an ID number through the county, and they will keep you registered as long as you're volunteering. And then you get first of all, civilian ID, then you would get a regular LA County badge and let you know that, okay, you're ready to go out there and help us out. We also report to traffic control stuff. So if signal goes out, we're on call, the person in charge calls us out, we go out there, and that's all volunteers. So you're not calling people from home that are actually going to be getting paid. So not to dim the light on the workers out there, but, we also have time to go out there and volunteer and block up roads or roadblocks, whatever they want us to do.
Well, to put it a better way, they could help the city save some money.
Yep, that's something to think about.
As you notice also, Glenn has the uniform that they issue. And that's, for one thing, to assure that to distinguish between the deputies and the volunteers. A number of cities also have volunteers, what I understand in regards to when you say what's on the other side as far as the age. So it's not a situation where, they're looking for just people in their 20s or something. But another good thing about these programs is that for those young people, or let's say they're graduate from high school and they're 18 and above,
That's right.
who are interested in going into law enforcement, this is a small way of getting that,
It kind of gives them
hands-on.
a little background on it,
Yeah.
and it gets them across for them to go to the cadets. There's a lot of that cadet stuff, so they could get into that. That's just introducing to them if they want to be interested.
Do
in that.
they also have women volunteers?
Yes, they do.
There you go.
Yeah.
You forgot to mention that. You're leaving the women out.
Oh, no, I didn't say about guys or girls. Hey, anybody's
We
involved.
know where we're at, right?
Yeah, Ruben's one of our volunteers here at the center, too.
People
so.
just don't volunteer like they used to,
Yeah,
Everyone's out trying to make
it's a commitment, and if they're willing to commit, then they're willing to be out there for us, for the city, and for the residents. And I guess this was regard the vehicle. I guess that's why Tony had wanted me to
Yeah, that's on for later on tonight.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions or anything
I
else?
think it's a great program. I hope we can get some people taking advantage of it.
Okay. Thanks.
Item A, public hearings, no public hearings at this time. Ordinance, no ordinances to be presented at this time. C1,
Mayor, Council, I'd like to present an item that I received notification from Anthony and Jason Gonzalez on the internet, in fact, today, and that has to do with Assembly Bill 680. And I'd like to see about maybe getting support or taking some action on this Assembly bill that was discussed at the legislative meeting that was held in Sacramento.
Madam Mayor, for the record, the procedure would be for, this is a subsequent need item, which means it arose after the agenda came out, but before the meeting tonight. So we would ask that a motion be made from the council to place this on the agenda as E3. And then when you get to item E3, then you can take action. But because it is an item that is coming in after the agenda, there will be necessary to have a 4/5 vote to place it on. So the first order of business is to make a motion to place it on the agenda.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Item C1, adopt resolution number 003-2002 to approve pre-issued warrants and regular warrants in the amount of $405,525.61.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chavez?
Were we
Voting on the money.
voting on the money?
Yeah.
Does this, the warrants right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so enthralled because I was looking at this. I'm sorry, if I had just a quick time to discuss some items, if that's okay. I'm always diligent in looking to see just who's charging what to who and what are we getting pinned with. Under city council, under C1, I have some questions concerning some warrants. I suspect some things are being charged as city council that maybe should not be charged as city council. Last week, we voted that the city contribute money, or 2 weeks ago, that the city contribute money toward third grade field trips to Knott's. And I can see that that item has been charged to the city council. I have a problem with that.
That
Oh,
was the
and-
one to Melbourne, right?
Right. $650.
Well, we did it.
Yeah. I know we did it, but it shouldn't be charged
You know,
to
a
us,
fast thing. What would it be under?
non-departmental. On the other items, there are 6 airfare charges to San Francisco on the conference. There's only 5 council people. So obviously, we didn't construct a 6 council members, so I know that that's somewhere in there, $112.29.
What happens on that is that we have a credit with Southwest Airlines. You're right, because there was a cancellation. So we haven't lost the credit is there with Southwest Airlines.
I don't understand this. This says that 6 people from the city council have been charged $112.29.
Okay, I know what you're saying. Okay.
Okay.
That'll be,
Well, what happened?
That'll be amended. They'll be adjusted.
Well, it needs to be,
Right. Most likely what happened is that when the reservations were made, they were made with the one credit card. And that's probably what happened. That's why it got, posted to that line item. But
no,
it'll be
we
adjusted.
post these.
No, what I'm saying though is that,
No, you can split the account numbers.
no,
You can split 5 and 1.
No, I
You
know-
can pay them with the same credit card, but you can split those, Tony.
no, I know that, but when the person received it, that a post that didn't split it, they should have.
Well, they should have. What about the Mexico Sister Cities airfare for $359.69? Who was that? Do we know? Under city council, I thought we paid in aggregate. I seem to seen that bill come by before.
Yeah, but we
And I
could
see in
all
a-
go at the same time.
$359.69 under city council, 01441L4210. It's about 5 columns down the page in the middle. We also have another item, Sacramento Conference car rental. I'd like to know what the 9755 is for. I know that the car rental we had was a van and was a heck of a lot more than 9755. Okay. We also have another item. Where's it at? Where is it at? Oh. Where'd you go? Santa Barbara Conference. Car rental.
These items, I mean,
I mean, we drove our own car up, I don't know.
These items are, some of them are somewhat older because of the fact this is paying a credit card, and the credit card charges come in after the fact. They're not in the same month that you're seeing here. We will be delighted to investigate all of these and tell you what they are and make the appropriate adjustments if they're so necessary.
Well, the reason I ask you about Santa Barbara, it says fuel. Yeah, there you go.
What in the car is a
It was a
gas, huh?
fuel, yeah, let's make sure that we, at any rate, there's a number of items on here that are being charged. Also, you have the city pins. I noticed city pins are being charged to a couple of different departments. City pins are usually charged to non-departmental, so that I think all departments really take advantage of them. But I noticed a third of them went out to a third of the total cost went to the city council. And I don't think there's any way of substantiating that. I also a number of charges going to city council that to me don't seem to be kosher. Like we're padding the wallet here for the city council. I mean, I don't mind looking bad if it's my fault, but I don't want to look bad to the public if somebody doesn't know what items to charge. Okay? If we can have that maybe taken care of before it hits the meeting, that'd be nice. I mean, we're the ones that input this information into the computer, whether the charges come in late or not, that people have to know how to charge to different line items. I don't think that city pins have ever come out of a council budget.
Mayor and Council, all those items will be addressed.
Just one thing here, Armstrong floor covering. You know, I was talking to someone about a tree, and I wondered if his business was still here, but I noticed it has sidewalk plaque installation, 320. Why would he be doing plaques? That's not a floor covering.
Where are we?
It's on page 5, the seventh item down. Armstrong's floor covering, sidewalk plaque installation. I mean, he does linoleum floors and vinyl floors
Maybe they
and
use them.
carpet.
I think maybe they use the mastic or something for the plaque.
Well, yeah, but why would Armstrong even be listed? I mean, it's $320.
We'll find it out and get you the information, Mrs. Schultz.
Is it the same Armstrong covering the Chino City?
I will get you the information. I don't have that in front of me right now.
No, I was just, talking about his tree in his yard. And I wondered if he was still in business and no one knew. Well, apparently he is. But, it just, why the sidewalk plaque installation?
City pins are listed in the Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm. They're listed 4 different places.
That should
Well,
be
we all-
non-departmental. I
We
mean,
all use them.
yeah, that's why it should be non-departmental. I mean, there's a lot of, notice there's a lot of charges to human services that are,
If you look, you'll see city administrator, pin center.
Well, we have the budget next week.
well, I think when budget
City
does come
council.
up, the next time,
I would suggest to you that the way the distribution is done on these accounts, since you seem to be interested in that matter, is that each department submits their bills and tells me what accounts to put it in against their budget, including the ones related to the city council. The city council distribution is given to us by the person who's in charge of approving and reviewing the bills for the city council along with every other department, and that's how the distribution is done here. So we will make sure that those department heads are made sure that they charge it to the right department.
But the pins aren't used by Parks and Recreation, are they, Irving? The city pins?
When we have special events or guests, we usually get pins out. Like on the student government day, I'm sure we're gonna be giving students some pins. Or when we have special guests coming to our center, we give them pins.
that's a promotional thing for the whole city, though. I think, when we're looking at expenditures to the city, and it says that your department's 64.5% overspent, or actually about 14.5% overspent. Then we look at some of the charges that are coming out of that department, and it seems like every special event is covered by your department. Even things that have to do with tours for the kids are out of your department. For city government day and that kind of thing. So maybe that's why we're at 64.5.
Irving, do you know anything about this plaque?
What one?
Right here. See, Armstrong floor covering, sidewalk plaque installation, $320.
That comes out, that's Public Works, he would know. That's a
Yeah, but
Public
what kind
Works.
of plaque is it?
3.
That'd be something on
All I think of is that student.
Oh, you're talking about the one on the
Yeah.
street?
To answer your question, one of the reasons that the Parks and Recreation budget is at 64.1% was that when we paid out the vacation payments to the individuals for the excess over 300 hours, most of the salaries related to that number came out of Parks and Rec because a number of those people were the ones who were over the hours. We will be proposing a budget adjustment related to that item. We did not budget for the excess over 300 hours in the salaries when the original budget was presented in July and August. It also hits one other department quite significantly, and so we will be making proposed adjustments related to that. But that's what, and so, for instance, Irving made a cash out, and so that was charged to Parks and Recreation, and it wasn't budgeted for at that time, so we'll be making adjustment for that. That is one of the reasons that cost is higher.
Yeah. I'm just saying that maybe, some of these other items that, I don't know, if we were looking at
Like I suggested to you, sir, these costs and the invoices that we process are submitted by that department, and that is the place where they've
Oh, well,
asked.
I understand that, Mike.
And that's why they're putting that department.
I understand that, Mike, but if you're under the idea that people put them in there because they want them, and and what really should happen, I mean, we have the mayor's and the mayor's the prayer breakfast mugs, coffee mugs, and you have the golf tournament mugs coming out of the same because they're special events, okay? But I seem to remember when we used to do these kind of functions that they would come out of non-departmental because they were promotional items. There's $4,000 worth of charges just in those two items alone. And so, if that's going to be the case, that all the special events get charged to Human Services, that's okay. We just remember that when it comes to budget time, that is one of the reasons why the budget's so high right there, because we got so many charges coming out of special events. So we don't want to look at Irving and say, hey, Irving, what's that?
Irving and his office has supplied us with a calendar of this coming this calendar year, and all those special events. There's quite a few. There are really quite a few activities.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is not so it is understandable to a great extent, but in regards to the non-departmental issue, also we'll also address that then. But once again, Irving and his staff, I mean, they take care of a great deal of activities.
When we had the mayor prep breakfast before, Mayor, was it out of Human Services?
No, it was out of
You
non-departmental.
sure?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it came out of non-departmental. Because, anything that has to do with a promotional for the city usually comes out of non-departmental because everybody uses those promotions. I mean, community development would pass out a pin sometimes, and so would, who knows? Any department would.
Do we have a section on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think and plus, the other part is just, just watching out that the city council isn't unfairly charged for things that maybe they shouldn't be charged for. Because when the dust settles and the dust gets thick around us, and people will turn around and say, hey, what about that? So I'm just trying to make sense out of some of these charges.
No, this Human Services has a lot more programs or special events that they
we run
used
the
to
band.
We didn't have nothing
to
for
the
a
league.
while.
have. I know.
No, we go.
We need to,
I mean, the $650 for the other items.
Whoa. League of California Cities, we rented. Yeah, we rented a van. It was Leonard and I, we rented a minivan.
So, I don't know, that should be a non-departmental item.
Yeah.
We didn't buy the lift truck?
Yeah. The lift?
Yeah, what happened to
How
that?
come it says rental?
Yeah, they've been running.
Man.
But we have one and then.
Well, the whole idea was to buy it so we could save money. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, we just voted on that a couple meetings back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's all the same, huh?
Oh, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Otherwise, with those changes, aye.
I forgot where I was.
That was the first one.
We were on resolution
Yeah, the first
number,
and a
She was doing a roll call.
First and a second
I
on
went
the,
through, no, I went,
You went to me first.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I lost you. Okay, Councilmember Chavez.
Aye, with the changes.
With the changes. Councilmember Schultz.
aye.
Councilmember Canada.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Heckerman.
Aye.
Mayor Frida.
aye. Motion carried. D1, consent calendar. Presentation of the monthly report by the Community Development Department Building and Safety Division for December 2001.
Motion to approve the consent calendar in its entirety.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion items. Item E1, presentation of meeting minutes as follows. January the 8th, 2002, regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Council election. Presentation by the city administrator of status report of Scan Insurance.
Mayor and Council, this was brought to the city's attention because Mayor Pro Tem John Heckerman was approached by residents of seniors they have this insurance. This is a Senior Care Action Network insurance. And my understanding is that this is insurance for and by senior citizens. Mr. Heckerman, did you want to give the background as to what's causing the issue here?
Well, what brought it to my attention was a family over there in Bloomfield Mobile Park called me and said that they were receiving a charge of $30 a month for their scan insurance. Previously, the husband had been on it, and then his wife got on it. Now, they live at the same address, but previously he was not being charged anything because he was considered as living in L.A. County. When his wife applied, they took her address down. Well, the address, lo and behold, is still L.A. County, but it's a zip code for Cypress. And through checking, we come to find out that SCAN charges according to the way Social Security pays. Social Security charges or pays or charges them whatever, $30 a month if they live in Orange County. No charge in L.A. County. They charge them $40 a month in Riverside County, and so on. So consequently, now we have a family over there, just this one family, that's now paying $60 a month because they're based on their residence, where their residence is. So we did some checking into it, and there are other families over there, and I can let Tony follow on with that.
Yes, basically, the $30 that's being made reference to a month is an additional $30 to their premium. They have their regular premium, but due to the fact that they have an Orange County address, their premium is $30 per person extra per month. And that's, excuse, but, that's a hefty amount, especially senior citizens, especially one is on a fixed income. So we went down to the insurance company, and they're located here in Long Beach on Kilroy Airport Way, met with the representatives. They looked into it, and basically it's because of the Medicare, the way Medicare pays SCAN, or the insurance company. In other words, they pay more, I guess, in the LA County than they do in Orange County, Because we couldn't figure it out. I mean, we're thinking, well, what? I mean, are they saying that people who live in Orange County take ill more so, or what? You know, what's the relevancy? But it's a Medicare issue. And basically what it calls for is that if they want to change it, they're going to have to change their mailing address from Cypress to Hawaiian Gardens. We're talking about the mobile home estates that's located within the city limits. That's located, yes, right.
I contacted the manager of the park, and she ran a survey of people over there, and there was a definite no, we don't want our mailing address changed. So there's various reasons. One being the reason if they were to have an LA County address, their insurance premiums would go up on their cars, for one.
Well, you know, when political stuff goes out, I remember, you know, putting together, they had to be taken to Cypress.
Well,
They had
the thing is, you know, they vote here, they vote in a mobile home park right over here at Lakewood Mobile Estates. Their phone line is LA, it's 562 phone. For tax purposes, they're considered in LA County, so on and so forth. The only thing is, the post office has given them a zip code for Cypress. And that is what SCAN goes by, is their postal zip code.
We're bringing to light right now because I'm sure we've had some inquiries, and even today, I believe, it was brought to my attention that somebody did inquire again, and in case you're approached. But the other thing, though, is that yet we don't want to see where the senior citizen, one senior citizen went to the insurance company, and then was sent to the, to the post office. And then the post office said, well, you know, I'm sorry, they went from the insurance company, Social Security told them, go see the post office told them, go see Congressman Horn. And, you know,
Run around.
so that's why we got involved with this. We didn't want senior citizens going back and forth. So, but basically, it's an item that if they want to change, the only way they have to change it is that they're going to have to get a LA County or Hawaiian Gardens address.
John, you were saying they didn't want
No,
LA
they
because
don't want
pay
this.
more for car insurance in
Right.
LA County than
Yes. It's called redlining. And they're charged more in LA County
than that
than...
anymore.
Oh, yeah, they do it. Believe me, they do it. Not only that, but there were a couple of other issues that were brought up, reasonings why they did not want it changed. So in deference to them, is, you know, the majority of them over there want to keep it that way,
Well,
so...
they're probably saving more than $30.
Well, we have several people, it's not everybody in there that's on SCAN. I think there are 6 families
That made us aware.
that we're aware of, 6 families that are on SCAN in there, out of 48 spaces. So you have to defer to the majority on this.
Yeah.
So. But I just wanted the council to be aware in case you're approached, at least you know what the situation is on it.
Okay. Tony?
Yes, on the next item, Mayor, is it?
Item E3.
Uh-huh. Thank you. As you're fully aware, Mayor and Council, when we were in Sacramento and listening to all the talk pertaining to that the state is not going to balance their budget on the backs of the cities, and I still have my doubts on that issue, but one of the items that was brought to our attention there at that conference was that our Anthony Gonzalez brought to our attention the AB 680 by Steinberg. And basically what this calls for is that where the state of California is looking at what's known as the Greater Sacramento region only at this time for the purpose of doing where there'll be a transaction of monies from the cities to the state. And the concern really here is that, okay, if they're going to say only in Greater Sacramento region, which means the counties of El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, Sutter, Yolo, and the county of Yuba, what keeps this assembly bill later on being amended to where it's statewide, and then now they start getting into our pocketbooks. In fact, I found it interesting because in reading over the bill, their amended bill, their latest amended bill, that is, there's a paragraph that says it is the further intent of the legislator that this pilot program not be implemented statewide until after the report described in Section 3 and so forth. But already they're looking at that. Okay, maybe we can find a loophole in order to go out, for the cities on a statewide basis. The reason I was asking for it for tonight is that Anthony Gonzalez, or Jason Gonzalez, that is, communicated with me, making me aware that there's an Assembly appropriation hearing on January the 24th where the Steinberg bill is going to be addressed. Based on what you have before you, I don't know if you wish to take any action now or later on, either for or against the bill. One thing, though, I have to, at the last meeting, there was a ad hoc committee pertaining to legislative issues. I strongly recommend that, you keep that committee intact for any and all legislative issues that are brought to our attention, and thereby having the ad hoc committee review not only this bill, but any other bills that might be coming in, that might do any, how should I say, damage, and we want to do some damage control here.
Yeah, because most of the taxes are paid by Southern. Some of those little towns.
Just that one passage in there tells me they've got future thoughts.
Yes, and that's really, and that's really a
Did
concern.
Lady Burnett hit on that when we talked to her?
On Steinberg?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she mentioned, but she mentioned it in a way that I felt like she was leaning towards in favor of it, where,
Yeah.
It didn't sound too good anyway.
I get a little antsy when a legislator tells me I didn't like it, but I had to vote for it anyhow. That bothers me.
So do you want us to
I didn't want to do it, yeah.
make a motion to keep the two here in case they have to make a fast trip up there?
well, no, I just,
You want me to
Get the mayor there.
no, going back to Assembly Bill 680, though, I feel like maybe at this time, if you wish to make a motion, or if you wish to look into it further.
or just oppose it right now?
Well, this is just a hearing that's coming up on it.
Right.
There's no,
No voting?
it's not going to be going out for vote. It's just a hearing at this point?
Just a hearing, yes, sir. That's what I've been informed.
Okay. I think maybe we should take the time to look it over and see what we have here and make a proper decision on it that way.
Hey, we might need Sacramento's help. I mean, I'll move to oppose it.
You will move to oppose it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will too.
There's a second.
Yeah, because,
Well,
that
there's
a
your
second?
second.
yeah, it's a second.
That's fine with me.
Make a stand now.
Send a
Any
message.
further discussion? Motion carries.
No, you have to vote.
on it.
All in favor, specify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion
There
carries.
you are. We're opposed.
Thank you very
All it
much.
takes.
They say when in doubt, vote no.
Going back to
Or yes.
going back to the legislative ad hoc committee, though,
You're in doubt.
once again, I would strongly recommend that stays intact with the two individuals that that were selected at the last meeting.
Well, I think Gonzalez wanted us to do something.
I think
That's why I contacted him.
I think it'd be a good idea if we found out anything else that might be coming up there so that we could have it maybe at our attention before meetings.
Maybe if I
Any of
could
those-
impose on staff to write up a draft resolution.
Yeah.
Right now, we've voted to oppose it, but if we can have a draft resolution of opposing it, then we can call a special meeting for a,
Well, we're having a meeting the 29th. Can we incorporate that?
yeah, we can do whatever we want. Doesn't make any difference.
We can also, if you wish, we can submit a formal minute motion, making them aware as to the action that took place this evening.
We should have a resolution to send out, maybe to put our stamp of disapproval on it.
Okay. Item F, closed session, no closed session at this time. Okay. Oral staff reports.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to remind you that on January 29th at 3 o'clock, you've scheduled a special council meeting to discuss a review of the budget for the first 6 months of the year, and there'll be proposals as to additional things to either be changed or kept the same.
Also, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, don't forget tomorrow we're having our banquets where we're presenting all the kids participating in volleyball and flag football, starting at 6 p.m. And on February 5th, we're definitely going to have the Student Government Day with students from FEDI coming to the city. And on February 10th, we are having our first boxing show at City Robert Lee. Also, I have been approached by quite a few people asking about the computer classes, and I talked to the assistant principal from the adult schools from ABC, and they telling me that the reason some of the classes are not being held is because they have pre-registration and they want to make sure that they made the quota of 15 students. But the classes are scheduled for the quarter, and as soon the teacher gets 15 students, then they're going to start the classes. It's the same thing for one of the yoga classes. They only have about 9 students, they need 15 to start the yoga class on Wednesdays.
Okay. Oral council reports.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I had a nice conversation. The Mayor Pro Tem and I had a nice conversation with Bob Baldwin, one of the school district board of directors, and brought up some items to Bob that we've had as a in the back of our thoughts. Mr. Baldwin was not even aware that the City of Hawaiian Gardens had a lease with Ferris Fetty or Killingsworth, technically Killingsworth Junior High School in the ABC School District, for open space. He doesn't understand the fact. He did not understand the need for open space in the City of Hawaiian Gardens. He does now. He does drive through the Hawaiian Gardens a lot, and he has a tendency to look at a lot of things in Hawaiian Garden, especially the schools, of course, what he's responsible for. And he says he drives by Ferguson Elementary and the other schools, but we were talking about Ferguson, and I mentioned to Bob that one of the things that we're concerned with is this open space issue, and that we had our lease with Ferguson as our other lease, and that the school district continues to construct portable classrooms, if you will, and a playground in left field, to put it bluntly, in our leased area.
They keep it up, T-ball will hit out there.
Well, it's all out there now, is T-ball now, but I told them that, they did this, and I remember when Chitbow got all upset because he dug down to put in a trench and ran into some wires and complained complained that the city didn't put the wires in deep enough, and I asked him, well, what the heck are you doing by the light? I mean, that's our left field, you know? Oh, well, we're constructing a playground. And I'm saying, well, you're constructing a playground in our left field. So if a right-handed hitter were to step up at home plate, and I put his little butt on home plate, and I said, you hit the ball, where would the ball go? And the ball would end up going to the playground they constructed. And of course, the fielders are going to run after the ball. And they have no kind of fence or padding to safeguard the fielder from the ball being hit in the playground. So somebody's going to get hurt. I noticed that they put in 2 more portable classrooms in that area. If you're not aware of it, go down there and check it out. There's 2 more portable classrooms in the area, and then pretty soon they're just going to completely build out. He wasn't aware of some of these issues. I kind of bent his ear to talk about Hawaiian Elementary School. Okay, so Hawaiian Elementary School I put into the mix as to, well, if we couldn't have Ferguson all the way we wanted, maybe they would be interested in leasing us Hawaiian Elementary School also as part of a lease package to renew our leases. So he's going to talk to Dr. Barnes about it. So you need to get the leases up. I'm sure you have those. They're on file. And you ready those things, and we'll probably have to construct 2 new leases, if not 3. Okay, so... I mean, but Bob doesn't even know it. He says that he's sure that nobody else in the school district board knows about it. And his eyes were wide open. So, but he said he'd help us in any way we could to secure the fields. And he's a pretty good man. He sticks by us pretty much. And he lives, right on Del Amo. Kind of has an affinity for the south end of the district, so that's kind of good. As do a lot of the school district board members. This is the best school board we've ever had when it comes down to Hawaiian Gardens. So, and we have a very sympathetic superintendent. So, I think we're in a good position to try to, renew our leases and ensure open space for the city and the kids for organized play. So, that's my report.
Anybody else?
I would say one thing for the library, as far as the things that are going on there, we do have that monthly newsletter that's going out now, and you could put things in there which would help get and we're mailing that to every household, so you'd be sure that every household will see what you've had in the paper.
The February newsletter does have an article. There is, yes, sir, in regards to the volunteer program.
Great.
And also a meeting.
Our sound system is having a fun time tonight.
He's working on that, and by the way, that doesn't affect what's going out on the cable. It's only here, okay? So I just want to make you aware. The other item, though, is that I've asked for, she's going to be giving us flyers and so forth so we can put it on the cable also. So that's another way of marketing it. Okay.
Bashir does an excellent job with the cable anyhow.
This, I don't know if it comes under council reports or maybe staff, whatever, but are we any closer to settling our union thing? So we can get on with...
That's not an item we need to talk about right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Hey, I'm not worried about it.
I know you're not, and I am.
I'm not.
Let's not...
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
To the 29th of February, or 29th of January, rather, at 3 p.m.
So ordered. Community Redevelopment Agency regular meeting is now being called to order. Roll call, please.
Director Chavez?
Here.
Director Schultz?
Here.
Director Canada.
Here.
Vice Chair Member Heckerman.
Here.
Chair Member Frida.
Here.
You have your quorum.
Thank you. Oral communications, items on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on agenda items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. There being no one, oral communications, items not on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on items not on the agenda and within the legislative body's jurisdiction. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. There being no one, item A1, resolution. Approval of resolution number 2002-02 declaring certain agency vehicle as a surplus.
I'll move approval of resolution number 2002-2.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agency action. Approval of resolution number 2002-03, approving pre-issue warrants and regular warrants in the amount of $15,444.62.
Motion.
That's second.
Any further discussion?
Anything?
Yeah, if I can. On those items that we discussed that we were pulling out of general fund, the other half of those items, since we are agency directors, should be coming out of the redevelopment agency budget. Okay? I think whenever we went on something like that, before we charged the agency half the amount of money,
Yeah, some of it should be charged to redevelopment.
it shouldn't all be coming out of general fund. It's easy to charge general fund with all this stuff, but, you know, when we talk legislation too, we talk legislation for redevelopment agency. So many of our league conferences and that kind of thing, contract cities, we should look to charge half of those items to the RDA. And because whenever we have gone anywhere, I've noticed it's all coming out of general fund. And I don't think that's right.
But that's the way it's always been done, but I don't think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't done that way in the past. I mean,
Are you sure?
yeah. Yeah, I happened to be a city administrator at one time, so I know what was charged.
Well, that's
Kind of
good.
helps out. So I think what you got to do is, you know, we got to take a look at this thing. Plus, you know, the RDA really has gotten away pretty scot-free in the last couple of years with a lot of charges to the general fund that it really is responsible for and never got charged. So I think right now the RDA has gotten off scot-free on a lot of things. I think we should do something that reflects the charges that it should be getting. So if you will, I don't have any problem approving these bills, but I would like from now on that any charges for travel and that kind of thing, or any related travel contracts, cities, League of California Cities, that kind of thing, probably be good for us to charge 50% to the RDA or make that adjustment. So.
But you say that it was done like that in the past?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like half of Tony's salary comes out.
Yeah.
Same thing with Joe's, a certain portion of Mike's, you know, a certain portion of Ernesto's,
Oh, I think
including our illustrious legal counsel here. And now we make the.
I don't know what the team goes about that. Those are decisions they make.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't control that, Betty.
Huh?
He doesn't control that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he controlled all 5 of us.
No, no.
I don't think so.
He tries.
No, he doesn't even try.
No, he just takes the check.
Kind of suggests.
No, but, you know, you should have thought about that before, kid.
Hey, you know, ever diligent. I just looking at, I'm sensitive about what the RDA has been
We
doing.
have a lot more, we're doing a lot more than we were before.
Yeah.
You know, so it shows up really super big on the general fund.
Yeah. We're leaning a lot on the general.
Yeah.
We need to leverage some of
Got big
that.
shoulders.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Chavez.
Aye.
Director Schultz.
Yes.
Director Canada.
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Heckerman.
Yes.
Chairmember Prida.
Yes.
So I can find it nowhere.
Item B1, presentation of the meeting minutes as follows. January the 28th, 2002, regular meeting.
Move approval.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. D, we don't have any closed session at this time. Okay, oral staff reports. Oral agency reports. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move adjournment to the 29th at 3 p.m.
Second.
So ordered. City of Hawaiian Gardens Public Housing Authority, meeting called to order. Roll call, please.
Director Chavez.
Here.
Director Schultz.
Here.
Director Canada.
Here.
Vice Chair Member Heckerman.
Here?
Chairmember Prida.
Yes.
Your quorum.
Thank you. Oral communications, items on the agenda. This is a time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on agenda items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. There being no one, oral communications items not on the agenda. This is also the time reserved for members of the audience wishing to speak on excuse me, on items not on the agenda and within the legislative body's jurisdiction. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak, please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. Okay. Item 1, approval of resolution number 01-2001 to approve the warrants for housing assistance payments, HAP, in the amount of $42,596.
Make the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Chavez.
Aye.
Director Schultz.
Yes.
Director Canada.
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Heckerman.
Aye.
Chairmember Prida.
Yes. B1, presentation of the Community Development Department of the Section 8 Housing Assistance Program status report through December the 8th, 2001.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, specify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. B2, presentation of the following meeting minutes, December the 27th, 2001, special meeting, and September the 10th, 2002, special meeting.
One at a time. Move approval of December 27, 2001.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
You weren't here.
Aye.
Motion carried. September the 10th, 2002, special meeting.
Move approval September 10th.
4 and 1 abstention.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard wasn't here, remember?
Move approval September 10th, 2002, special meeting.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. No closed session at all.
I think Betty seconded.
Item D, oral staff reports.
Yes, I'd like to bring something, I should have brought it earlier, but being that also a number of the individuals are residents of the Public Housing Authority. I'll bring it up now also. What we have here is that tomorrow evening, Ernesto will be flying and checking up on our assets down south in Michoacan. So he'll be meeting also with the newly elected Presidente Municipal, and also discussing in regards to the park that you all had talked to them about. So he'll be flying out tomorrow, and he should be back by Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have some questions.
That's why he's going, because my understanding is that he has been approached by individuals, the elected body, as to the concerns regarding the assets because of the change of the, how should I say, the change of the guard. Thank you. Okay. There's a concern that, for example, on a hearsay basis, and this is why Ernesto's going, that there might be a situation where a computer that was supposed to be at City Hall donated by the city might not be there. So,
Yeah, we don't want to spin our wheels anymore if.
right, and that's why,
I was informed by a friend of mine who's very heavily involved from Downey, from the sister cities, that seems to be the natural, normal chain of events down there. Whenever one government goes out, whenever one function or whatever, especially if it's the opposing party coming in, everything is taken.
Including the pencils.
Yeah.
And the desks.
Yeah, I heard that. Even the brooms were gone, but, I'm not concerned about the brooms or the other items, only the items that the city, you all graciously, for the benefit of the residents of, Veneciano Garanza.
Where's the bus at?
The bus is still here. Also, thank you for bringing that up. What Ernesto will be doing is finalizing the paperwork with the newly elected parties.
Good.
Well,
I'll be taking along with me all the original documentation that is submitted, along with all the backup supporting documentation of the computer. So we already have preset meetings.
Good.
That's good.
How, I'm sorry. How can we be sure that the bus will be left there after this new government leaves office?
well, the only assurance, but then in life, the only guarantee is that there's no guarantee. But the only assurance would be that this party is supposed to be in for office for, 3 years. I can't really speak beyond 3 years. I can't even speak beyond 1 day in regards to that situation.
Because we were talking about, some chairs that were very important for some children.
One's already been delivered.
Yeah, that's already been delivered.
To the little girl that we were talking about.
And he's going to take pictures. Okay, and also he's going to get the addresses of the parties of the parents of Lupita.
Is there any way that we can, since the bus is being donated to the special school, is there any way that we can give them some kind of documentation stating that bus is for the school and is to remain? Can we make somebody?
I'm sure there is none. From my understanding, the special school is funded through the federal government, not through the local county or state. It is funded through the federal government, and while I'm there, I will inquire.
Okay, thank you.
If there's something we can do.
Maybe we can make it their property.
Yeah.
If you, it may be the normal thing, okay? But it's not a normal thing in my book, okay? And, I got a big problem with that. I'm not here to turn around and help just the political party that's in office. When we donated those items go to the people.
That's right.
Of the city of Venustiano Carranza, and by God, they better be there. Because if they're not there, you can forget my participation in sister cities. And they need to know that. We don't go there to help people for 3 years. Our commitments, they've always been our sister city. We expect when we help them that those items stay there with the folks, not the opposing party. You know, the opposing party, you know, they lost, they got to walk and leave the items that, you know, they really by all rights should leave all the items there, whether it's things that we donated or not. How do you expect a township to get any better if you're going to turn around and take them, and probably for their own personal use? And I think that's terrible. I think we should have guarantees. The guarantees we should have is to threaten, you know, them with, hey, you know, if you can't act in a civil manner and you got to take these things, and we'll just find another sister city. You know, so the people there have to know that when we help them. Okay, we don't care who's in office, we help them. And if we give a computer out to the government there to help the people, we expect that computer to stay.
Okay.
And
I think once we establish this Sister Cities Board and we make them become more involved in the whole process, maybe that's an area where we can act as mediators. And in the future, when there is going to be a transition of government, you know, maybe even some of the board members themselves can volunteer to go down there and assist in.
Well, it would be nice if we could
transition.
begin to help them understand you're in the 21st century. You know, this is antiquated. Take everything with you. Everything belongs to the people to begin with, for God's sake. You're trying to make it better for the people there. If we can get a dialogue started with them, I don't know if it's going to do any good or not, because they've been doing this for years down there, from what I understand. Every time there's a change of government, everything goes with that one. Then they start all over again.
I mean, Secretary of State's got to be involved with this in some kind of way. We've got to get both sides, our Secretary of State and their Secretary of State, together to explain to them the importance of this policy, because if not, you know, it's deflating. I'm certainly not energetic to going back and helping these people if we have to start from ground zero again, because obviously, you know, it's a futile effort, you know.
You have a job. That's going to be a rough job.
I like challenges.
Well, he can handle it diplomatically with
he
them,
can do it.
but forcefully enough to let them know that, you know, we mean. I agree with Leonard. You know, if we're going to be donating down there, and the only people that are in the end result are going to be the beneficiaries of it are the politicians that leave office, I don't think so.
Well, there's got to be a way to stop these politicians that taking everything that belongs to the people of Venustiano Carranza.
I don't see how you're going to do it.
I don't see there's got to be a way, because
I'll personally send the mayor down there myself.
Yeah.
I'll go to the president if I
She'll
have
straighten them out.
Down there. She did a great job. No one else could have done
dealing with another government and another way of running government.
I'll get the whole town in an uproar.
I'm sure you will.
Maybe they can overcome the government and tell them. I will.
Since we are on the subject,
It wouldn't hurt my feelings
like
to go
Mr.
down there and really tell them what I think.
Like Mr. Lopez stated, some items were delivered to the sister city. Michi sent some stuff over for one of the children at the special ed school. And at Vasco da Gama, there was a box of pencils I think he sent over. We sent over the box of eyeglasses that were donated by the school. They were given to the priest. That was the fairest way we felt that, you know, it would be distributed.
Oh, absolutely.
There are several eye doctors there, but we figured, you know, the priest.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should have left everything with the priest. It'd be a lot safer.
Yeah, and then there was also a wheelchair donated by Mr. Lopez and Mr. Kavanaugh to the child that needed it, and it was delivered also.
And I do want to thank Tony and John for the purchase of that wheelchair for that little girl down there.
Say hi to the polleria, man. Let me know how he is.
Any further discussion? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Did I hear a second?
Don't
I need one.
Don't need one.
So ordered.
Okay. I sent Michi down.